Hi, how's it going? Welcome to Rads. I know what you're thinking. I know it's not the transfer window just yet. It's literally still November. Very premature, but it's obvious. Okay, camera went out of focus there. It's obvious what Forest need to do in the January window, and that is actually recruit a few forwards, because the absence of Brennan Johnson and then just in general a lack of squad depth up top, and now Serhou Guirassy being injured, we haven't really got a single actual number 9 to rely on, and just a general lack of squad depth. Against Luton and Liverpool, we had basically no forwards available. So that needs to be addressed quite seriously. But the likes of Andre Santos, could they be getting recalled? Check Arte, is he still going to come off the bench occasionally and, well, kind of play a huge part in bottling 2 goals leads? I'm not so sure, but like, is he really the option? Maybe not. Do we need to get into the midfielder? We are linked with a couple. The defence, obviously we are quite blessed with the amount of options we've got there, but are all of them good enough? We have been conceding quite a few goals recently. Do we need another defender? I'll be doing these transfer videos every week during the transfer window when it does open in the new year, of course, so stay tuned to that. I do this all the time whenever it is a transfer season. I'm going to take an early look at what could happen. Let's start with a big rumour that everyone seems to be getting on board with, but do we actually know that much about him? Not really. But Serhou Guirassy, this guy looks a monster of striker from the Bundesliga. You're going to notice a theme here. We're linked with quite a few players from Germany, continuing a theme of the likes of Awani and Mangala coming over from Germany and, well, ended up doing very well. He only signed for Stuttgart in the summer from Rennes, and he scored 25 goals in 81 games for them this season. And I don't want to just stat bomb you, because it doesn't always actually be that accurate, but it has to be looked at that he scored 15 goals. Harry Toffolo amount of goals, 15 goals. No, that doesn't make any sense. How could he score a player's worth of, I mean, there's not 15 Harry Toffolos, but he wears number 15. Move on. He's done that in just 9 Bundesliga appearances. That's no joke at all. That's absolutely incredible. He's only got a £15 million release clause too, which is very, very tempting in today's market. The likes of Fulham and Newcastle are interested in this lad. He seems to have it all. Very good with the ball, can score all range of goals, from long way out to tap-ins to headers. Basically what you want from a striker. You can trust him in all scenarios. Can we do that currently with Divock Origi and Chris Wood? Maybe not. Can we do that with Serhou Guirassy? I think we can. So we need someone of the kind of calibre of Awani, or maybe just a little bit lower, that can very, very reliably step in and do the job when Awani isn't out, because unfortunately Awani just tend to get injuries. Let's talk about another forward named Jonas Wind from Wolfsburg. An interesting name, but also a Danish international too. So he's got good pedigree to him. 9 goals he scored this season. He's only behind a certain Harry Kane and, would you believe it, Guirassy, who I just spoke about, in terms of the entire top goal scorer list in the Bundesliga. So we're linked with the 2nd and 3rd top scorers in the Bundesliga. Is this a Bundesliga fan channel now? Trust me, this is just what Forest are linked with. Again, Fulham are interested. They clearly want to try and replace Alexander Mitrovic, so that's no surprise. He looks like a really good option, honestly. You do need to see more of Wind, but from what I can tell, he's very good in tight scenarios. Got a lot of skill about him, a couple of little flick-overs, good vision, therefore. You know, we need to see more of him, but early impressions, from what I can tell, only 24 years of age, would be a good bit of business. One final striker we're linked with from Germany is Marvin Duckscher. I think I've said that wrong, but what's new there? I can never say names correctly. Werder Bremen striker. Again, not too sure what the price tag would be for this one. A German international, now made his debut this season for the German national team. 5 goals, 3 assists in 11 games this season for Werder Bremen. Newcastle also interested. So Premier League clubs are being linked with these German strikers that we're also being linked with, so that is probably a good sign that they could maybe fit into a Premier League team quite well, if it isn't just us that's just, you know, taking a punt on this random guy from a totally different kind of football and league. One thing I've noticed about him is he does love a good long range shot. He's definitely scored a few good long range shots, and set pieces are a major weakness of Forest this season, and to be honest last season as well. He takes set pieces, he takes free kicks, he takes corners and penalties. So that could actually be a really, really big asset if we were to get him in, and someone that we could all but certainly trust very well and could be a really good impact player, because I don't think anyone's going to dislodge Taiwo, to be quite honest, as our main striker, but someone that could be an incredibly strong backup. Let's talk about a couple of midfielders we're being linked with. Let's bring it closer to home. It's still quite far away. Middlesbrough. Hayden Hackney, obviously an England under-21 international. I saw him play at the City Ground very recently for the under-21s in our 9-0 win against Serbia. Go check that out, that vlog. It's not done very well, so you know. This guy's a key player for Middlesbrough and Michael Carrick's team. He's only really been a regular in the Championship for the last 2 seasons. This is one of them. So he's not even completed 2 full seasons yet of playing regular football in the Championship. So that is a slight concern that, you know, can he step up to the Premier League level even as a bit part player? Because I don't see him really coming in and playing much. I think he'd probably be more of like a Yates impact kind of player, or more than anything, probably replacing the likes of Serhou Guirassy and Andre Santos in this team. So he's more of one for the future. A very, very good player. Runs with the ball at his feet, seems very creative, can play all across midfield. So as a 10, as a 6, as an 8, all of that. That's good to know. The likes of Arsenal, Newcastle and Liverpool have been interested in the past. Is he going to be able to step up to the Premier League? That's probably the only doubt I've got. But other than that, for the future and what he can offer right now, in fact, I think it'd be a great bit of depth, a great signing. Just briefly talking about the attack again, but more of the wide areas. We've got Jacob Murphy being linked with us in Newcastle. A bit of a surprise, this one, because he's actually been playing very well for Newcastle since the takeover. He's one of those players that have just come on complete leaps and bounds since that takeover happened. He has got an injury right now, so that isn't helping him, but he has been more of an impact player this season rather than a starter. Only he has started in the Champions League this season against PSG, I believe it was PSG. Crystal Palace also being linked with him. I'm a bit surprised that Newcastle are willing to let him go. From what I can tell online, Newcastle fans don't really want him to leave either. Some people have kind of stuck their noses up at this, from what I can tell online. Can I really take that too seriously? Probably not, but I wouldn't be against it, to be honest. I don't think he'd come in and replace Elanga and Hudson-Odoi, because even though he's playing at the Champions League level now, I don't think he'd dislodge them two. I think he'd be more of an impact player, even with us. 2 more players are being linked with. The first one is Nino from Fluminense. It wouldn't be a transfer window if we weren't linked with a Brazilian. And we're being linked with another one here. He apparently has a 6 million release clause. Won the Copa Libertadores last season, captains his side, 234 appearances for Fluminense. They wanted to offer him a 10-year contract, I saw reported. That didn't happen. I don't even think that's allowed, but Fluminense wanted to offer him that. Right-sided centre-back made his Brazil senior debut just the other week against Argentina. Looks really strong, very physical, you know, loves a header like most centre-backs do. Again, a bit like Jonas Wind, kind of need to see more of him because there's not too much to give away in YouTube highlight reels, which aren't always reliable. But, I mean, I think it would be a great signing. I think the likes of Wall or McKenna, one of them would have to leave to make way. But, I mean, this guy does look like a really good option. One more player being linked with. This one probably is the most unlikely now because he's just signed, literally a few days ago, a new deal with Strasbourg, and that is Habib Diarra. A 19-year-old midfielder from Strasbourg. The likes of Brentford, Lens, Juventus and Wolves have all been linked with this guy very recently and more long-term as well. 1 goal and an assist this season in 9 appearances in the French top flight. 3 caps for France's under-21s. He's no mug. If you're doing that at 19, he's clearly one hell of a player, and he looks like a really lively, energetic player to come into that midfield. Reminds me a little bit of Nino in terms of that, you know, just raw energy and agility and pace that he offers in that midfield. So if you get someone like that, then that's great. He is, again, a bit like Hayden Hackney. He can play all over the pitch in terms of that midfield, so that's useful. Again, would he be up to playing in the Premier League? It's a whole different ball game in England. Not so sure. Of course, he wouldn't have to be registered, being 19 years of age, which is useful. So I wouldn't be against that at all, but I actually think it's very unlikely to happen, at least right now. I haven't actually got any rumours out to talk about. There's not really much, I mean, besides Andre Santos potentially going back to Chelsea, but that's not really anything new that we don't know about. But other than that, they're just some of the early rumours, honestly. I mean, there's a few more, but at this stage, they're so niche, and some of them probably are just complete paper talk, but some of these I do generally think are real and could genuinely happen and would be, more than anything, good signings. So they're my early impressions on the upcoming transfer window. What do you think needs to happen in it? If you have enjoyed this, please hit the like button, subscribe to Rads if you're new. I do enjoy doing these transfer videos. It's good to do this again. We're doing it again every week during the January window. There'll be, of course, a vlog this weekend for a huge game against Everton. Massive games. Plenty of vlogs coming up, of course, in December with all the games that are going to be taking place. So yeah, thanks for watching. Up the Reds.